Hey guys, it's me, Sam, and I'm back with our fourth installment of Points from Proverbs. We're taking this week to dive deeper into some of these verses from Proverbs, which can highlight some of the good practices of the Christian walk. Today, we're looking at Proverbs chapter 7, verses 7 through 9 and 21 through 22. I saw among the simple, I noticed among the young men, a youth who had no sense. He was going down the street near her corner, walking along in the direction of her house, at twilight as the day was fading, as the dark of night set in. With persuasive words she led him astray. She seduced him with her smooth talk. All at once he followed her like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose. Proverbs chapter 7 is a somewhat unique chapter in Proverbs because unlike most of the chapters, it tells a story of a simple youth walking down the road of temptation to the house of the adulterous woman, where he ends up arriving at his doom. The chapter highlights the steps taken on the road to destruction that the young man takes, but it is my belief that the most important verses of the chapter are the ones I just read to you, verses 7 through 9 and 21 and 22. The story begins from wisdom's viewpoint. I saw among the simple. Wisdom is speaking. There's a simple young man who had no sense, who starts down the road toward an adulterous woman who is known for her unfaithfulness to her husband. The young man starts this journey at night. The young man meets his doom in verse 22, but there are 15 verses in between the start of his journey, verse 7, and his inevitable demise, verse 22. The closer he gets to her house, the more certain the outcome. He keeps walking down the street and eventually she runs out to meet him. She seduces him and she tries to justify what she is soliciting. And then she leads him into her house where he is destroyed. Now obviously we know he's not literally destroyed, but his reputation and good standing in the community are. And it takes a long time to get back to the place of respect that he gave up. My question to you is this: when did this young man go astray? For most of us, we would say in verse 22, when the young man decides to follow her. But I would like to humbly suggest that this young man fell into her trap the moment he started for her door. Temptation is a battle of the mind. What you dwell on in your mind will eventually seep into your heart. And what you have committed to in your heart, that's when you'll put it into action. By the time that young man had decided to just start down the street near her house, it didn't say that he determined to go to her house. He was just going near it. He was already doomed. That young man's fate was sealed in verse 7. Wisdom and prudence teach us to remove ourselves from even the possibility of temptation. I'm not just talking to boys and men when I say this, because sin can take different forms for all of us. We can't succumb to temptation if we're never in the place to be tempted. My challenge for us is this: remove yourself from any situation where temptation could possibly arise. Y'all, thank you for listening today, and I'll see you tomorrow.